We'll go ahead and get started. I won't spend a lot of time introducing this, just to let everyone know that as everyone knows, there was a field course to Nepal in January. Um, and we had six students attending. There was Mastura and Akash, Cassie, Sujata, Arju, and Shivam. Um, and if I mispronounce some of those names, I apologize, and you will say them correctly when you start presenting. And I will try to remember for the future. So we're going to have three groups who will give their synthesis presentations. We're going to start with Mastura and Akash, and each group will present for 15 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes of questions, and that should take us exactly to 1 hour. And I've already talked for
Yeah.
2 minutes of it, so I won't take much more time. So just up front, we have Mastura and Akash in Group A, Casey and Sujata in Group B, and
Right.
Arju and Shivam in Group C. Nawang, do you want to, or Surendra, do you want to add anything before we start, or do you want to just go right into it?
No, no, especially I would like to welcome everybody to the residential presentation session. And we had wonderful journey together, learning so many things. And we have, as a team, a wonderful. Luke was there. What up? We are very lucky that in the final closing, Luke was there, and we had very enjoyable. Please, Chris, sir, go ahead. So,
Well, let me just say, since you mentioned my name, I just want to welcome everybody this morning, and specifically, I've gotten to see a preview of the presentations you're about to see when I was in Nepal, and you guys are in for a real treat. I sadly might have to leave a little early. I'm gonna keep it on my phone as long as the service goes, but before I get moving and leave the house for the day and switch to my phone, I wanted to say welcome, but particularly to the six students. I've seen these presentations once. I'm back to see them again because they're so good. So thank you all and congratulations.
thank you very much.
Okay, great. Without any further delay, Mastura and Akash, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Chris and everybody. So happy to see you again, especially new faces a lot. So thank you so much for everybody, and especially from that colleagues who work with us a lot in Nepal. So as you know, we were for 15 days there, and we had one pairs, me and Akash. We were working, discussing, and all we were together in this journey. So in this journey, we like that journey help us to experience the community development in a real life, and also we visit a lot of rural communities, women's groups, agriculture initiative, and also some organizations who the purpose of that course was we have to observe that communities, and we have to listen that people who are working with that community, and according of their work or their that they are working, we have to reflect on our labs assignments, and especially we have to connect that readings theory things in our practice. So first of all, we want to talk about agriculture and climate change communities who we visited. So Akash will explain this.
Okay, thank you. I'm Akash Tiwari, uh, partner with Mastura in this presentation. During our visit, we had been to Climate Adaptive House, in which they were involved in construction of climate adaptive house with the use of locally available materials, especially the from the demolished house, the traditional demolished house, which was easily available for them, and they were involved in production of foods, particularly the vegetables for them in that traditional house, traditionally established built house in that old system. And during that visit, the key lesson was the use of local materials, uh, reduced the cost significantly, and the the life of the house was very long as compared with the modern cemented house. And they had beautifully integrated the health, housing, and agriculture as a whole. And second, we had visited to ICIMOD, that is International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. They were basically involved in preparing a demonstration center for the mountain agriculture, quite similar with the Nepalese mountain agriculture. And they were promoting the traditional and indigenous knowledge, particularly relating with the mountain agriculture, the mountain livelihood. And during the visit, the key lesson learned was the integration of forest and agriculture as a whole, and production of food and conservation of biodiversity and its resilience. They were integrating the traditional knowledge and other practices so that the mountain agriculture becomes sustainable. And third one, we had a visit to organic farm, which was basically located in urban area, urban region, where it is very hard to sustain, particularly in terms of financial approach. And they were producing chemical-free organic vegetables, and they had very loyal customers for their products. And during that visit, the key lesson learned was the integration of the coordination of farm produce production and the loyal customers for the produces. And they were sustaining their organic farm, which is very hard to sustain, particularly when there is no much variation for the chemical and organic produces in terms of pricing. And for my project, which is based on agriculture, and in agriculture it is agroecology, and for that agroecological project, agroforestry and integration of overall farming system will be very applicable in my project. And the way they were documenting the information and data were very important. They were, I think, recording the data for more than 30 or 40 years of data they had. And they were encouraging the local food production, and which led to the traditional healthy living. And adaptation of climatic condition, adaptation according to the climate condition, and particularly in terms of agriculture, was very important for application in my project. And the linkage between agriculture and customers, the loyal customers, was very important for the agroecological project I am involved with. Yeah. For next, I think Mastura will be presenting.
Thank you so much. So actually, we divided the communities based on their works, and there is some community groups we visited. So actually, we went to the I hope I don't pronounce the wrong place. It was, I think, in district of Nuwakot. So there was two women's group. First one was already they were independent from the organizations, but they started their work first with support of organizations, and that organization was a current share organization. And they were like the during of that organization support, they learn how to work, they learn how to lead a community, how to work with women, with communities, and how they can be sexist, and even how they can find supports to their community. And later on they become independents very soon. And current, we that the time who we were visiting them, it was an independence community group. So the transaction, they believed, started from supports, and this supports make them to be independent from other organizations. And that community were using and managing the resources they have with their communities, and they were making decision between their own self, no need to the other organizations or maybe the other member of other community decide for them. They learn how to make decision in their community. And the like interesting thing was they were leading themselves. So one woman shared they are actually choosing a leader after 2 years, and the aim of that was they can learn new skills and they will give opportunity for everybody to lead the communities. And the local ownership, they believe it will be impact, or it will be the cause of sustainability, especially long term of sustainability. And that women groups, they had some core area in their community as they considered the holism, because they believed holism will help them to have a very long-term sustainability in their community. They're working in education area, health awareness, decision making between their groups, and leadering social activities, financial aid, and social independence. They were working in these areas. And there was another group also, so that was just started working, and they were under support of Karen Share organization, but still the way they were creating their own poem, own songs, and they were dancing on that, it shows full of confidence of them who they are ready for working to their community and build their sustainable community without like support of any organization. And even they were talking about that. So the impact who we observe was their community increased the confidence and skills between women and improved the health awareness between community and village and the women's. And definitely they were creating a strong women leadership between themselves and that active community participant. Because one of that women I remember shared before they didn't know their like neighborhoods. They just know some relatives, some neighborhood, they were close to them. But after they were like joining in this community, they know all like women from so far village, and they are sharing their idea, they are become so skillful from them, and they are actually confident to share what they want and what they can do in their community. And the important things who they mentioned the impact of that community was reducing dependency and financial aid between them. So it was very matter for me, because that woman proved that who women also can be the leader or the lead of sustainable communities. And also they prove that sustainability exists beyond the funding, and empowerment is a holistic, it's not a kind of like sectors. So the key things who I learned or we learned from that communities, it was it's okay, they can create communities or they can build communities first of all with support of like any organizations, but they can grow up, they can stand up like through the participant of that community. And this is the way who they are think sustainable community will create. And also there was some organizations who we visited.
Sorry, Mastur, I want to jump in. I just want to give you a little time check. You've got 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. And then, so you might want to speed up a little bit.
Oh, sure. So another one was like there was a community learning centers and also VDRC. So actually these two organizations, they were considering the holism and they were doing almost the same things, but VDRC were broader and expand than the community learning centers. But both they had in this belief who organizations or any kind of learning centers, they can not be only education centers, they can consider a lot of things, and they can consider the holism, and it will help them to consider it will help them to be more like sustainability. So there is a lot of information, but because of the time I cannot explain all them. But here we talked about how we can apply the city skill to our communities. Actually, I'm working with online education for girls, as currently in Afghanistan, they cannot go to school or university. So community and that course or the Nepal we have, it means we can start from the sexes or anything we have exist in our community, and from that we can build sexes for our community, and especially the local leadership. It will be the main things who we can use it in our community, and according of that local leadership we can create partnerships. So the end we can set a skill workup. So here there is my goal to scale community-led online education for Afghan girls. So I have 5 phases. So the first one is curriculum development and community engagement. The second one is pilot with it's just a plan. The first pilot will be 100 learners or students, and we will expand that to more hubs. And the main point is training. We have to train the girls or the teachers as a professional teachers in our community. And the last one, we have to evaluate and scale up them. So the approach who we consider here, it is bottom up. It means from community ownership, we will work on it, and top down, especially like top down means institutional and policy engagement who we will consider. And the outside in, it will be the strategy, external partnership. So probably the people who working with us from outside, or maybe some partnership or some organizations will help us. So there is the Akash's organization. He will talk, and the things who here we created a city scale implication for us. So I hope you can see that. And like previous, we had brief information about that, but here, as we don't have that much time, we cannot explain that, but we are just talking about own community.
Can you please zoom in into the red section?
Let me do that. Yeah.
No, thank you. So for agroecological implication, implication in my project region. So first one will be the collecting the successes, especially related to the agriculture and agroecological activities, in which the farmers are involved in, and relating those successes into communities, families as a bottom up, and with the local government as a top down, and with the projects and NGOs as outside in will be important, and making the decisions based on the information and data we have, such as the yield inputs and the participation rates, and relevant data such as the crop calendar, planting calendar, and other practices they are involved in, and finally seeking into the change of behavior, which might be the preparation of kitchen gardens, and involvement in organic practices. So as a city scale implication, this will be the activities. And for scaling of these agroecological activities, initially it will be awareness and participation, followed by the learning system and strengthening the capacity of farmers, and finally preparation of the environment which will be feasible for the community to replicate the agroecological interventions. Master, please next slide.
Yeah.
So during the visit, we had a chance to meet and make new friends from various regions around the globe. From Nepal, of course, Afghanistan, India, USA. Yeah. And then we would like to thank everyone, Future Generation Himalayas, the whole Future Generation University, the communities, the projects, the fields who were involved in making our field visit a successful one. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you both. I think in the interest of time, I'm going to change up the schedule a little bit. Thank you. That was wonderful. That was great. I know we said we would have time for questions. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to present. So I'm going to change up the schedule a little bit, and it might make it for a little bit more chaotic at the end, and I apologize, but I want everyone to be able to do their presentation. So we'll go right into the next presentation. If you have questions for Mastura and Akash, please write them down, and we'll have sort of a free for all question and answer period at the end. And if you need to leave at the end, that's fine. But I just want to make sure everyone gets a chance to present. So again, thank you very much, Mastura and Akash. Let's move on to Casey and Sujata.
All right. Thank you all. Well, my name is Casey Withers, and my partner is Sujata Garti, and this is our presentation on the Nepal field course. So I'm a student in the master's program, and I have one more semester left, and I'll be graduating. This is my third field course, luckily, and I work as a staff member for Future Generations doing youth education work.
Namaste everyone. I'm Sujata Gharti and I am currently in second semester at Future Generations University. Alongside my studies, I'm also engaged with a local NGO named Sahkarmi Samaj.
One of the first place that we went in Nepal was Paradise Hills, and it's a social enterprise program of the NGO Share and Care Nepal. And a few things that stuck out there were just the social enterprise aspect of Paradise Hills as a hospitality and tourism lodging location, using this for income generation and workforce development.
So during this presentation or during this session, we also got to learn about the project stages and timelines of Share and Care Nepal, which is quite similar to ours. I mean, this was a very important thing because this timelines can be utilized in designing and implementing any projects, not just for Share and Care. So that's why it was quite nice to read about it in details. Also, we got to learn about the 7 tasks, and it was great seeing 7 tasks in place of 7 steps, as the Share and Care team mentioned that it had been revised from steps to tasks, which provided a bit flexibility because that's one important point while working in community.
One of the other sites that we were able to visit was this rammed earth mud house. It's one of the climate adaptation sites that's been identified through the success mapping work of the Future Generations Somalia team. And a lot of the criteria, the seed scale 5 criteria, stick out throughout these different sites, and you'll kind of see a pattern of that happening. But at this site, there was holism and sustainability really stuck out. The holism and just the design for energy efficiency and environmental sustainability here. Most aspects that you can think about, from the building materials, the way they're growing food, rainwater collection on the roof, solar panels, solar tools. Basically, if you can think of it, this in a design for energy efficiency, this house had it. So that was pretty impressive. And this is just one of the tools that we noticed here is this solar cooker. And one of the interesting things about all this was the homeowner's mother was elderly woman, and she had been sort of sick as they moved into this house. Her health started to improve. I don't know how much of a correlation there is or isn't there, but I think just having more available fresh food, cleaner air to breathe, all of those things kind of added up in this instance, which we took note of.
And the another site that we visited was Himgiri Permaculture Farm. It was run by Miss Nima, and it was a great example of climate adaptation along with theory versus practical thing. I mean, it's very rare that we see people study something in theory and implement that in practical. So that was quite nice to see. Me belonging from agriculture background myself, that was quite very nice how the farm was arranged and how she was immersed into doing things what she had exactly studied. It also proved that agriculture can also provide you a sustainable and dignified livelihood. uh, so that was very fresh and nice to see. She was also earning quite well.
And yes, this is us at ICIMOD, and it's a research and demonstration site, sort of in a relatable way to the Mud Earth House. At this site, once again, if you can kind of think of it based around renewable energy tools and different types of agriculture, there was hydroponics, aquaponics, mushroom grow bags, trout, goats, pretty much, yeah, a lot going on there, which was just an inspiration to kind of see an organization really carrying out the values and mission, the values that steer them towards their mission, and adapting to climate change in areas where it's affecting real communities, and using those localized resources to adapt to those changes.
From taking online sessions about the Share and Care Nepal, we also visited some groups in their sites at Nuwakot. So first of all, we visited World Level Women Network. Share and Care had already phased out from there 2 years back, but it was great seeing how they were still going strong. Those women, they were very clear about their goals and objectives, and it was very appreciable seeing how they were working in close coordination with the local government. So that was very nice. It was very good to witness such a strong-headed group that were very clear about their goals, and the way they shared their stories was very nice to hear.
Yeah, it was inspiring to see them kind of take ownership of themselves as a group and kind of start to determine more of their own future through their income generation and shared education and strengthening their social network together.
Yeah, and also they were raising funds and income generations through utilization of the available resources. They had their group savings, and they had also a meeting hall that was constructed from the support from the local government, and they were renting it to other organizations for trainings and running other programs, and were taking significant amount by from the rent. So that was also very nice how they came up with such a good idea.
Yeah, so we visited this NGO VDRC, and some of just like the highlights of this was every 2 years they do a leadership transition. It's part of what's written into their governance, and that kind of makes brings fresh leadership to the table frequently. And basically it was just impressive to see their sustainability and resiliency as an NGO to last 46 to 47 years and still going strong. They had they had a broad enough mission and vision to maintain flexibility with what they wanted to do. So there was a lot of organizations that they had helped through teaching them about good governance to be able to sustain over time, and create different branches that's not all under the same umbrella, but that do work together. And we were able to visit Chitwan National Park, which was the first developed national park in Nepal. And some things that stood out there is they're using ecotourism as almost a form of sustainability for particularly the elephant breeding center here. And they do guided tours down the river, which we were able to take a quick one on these tree trunk canoes that they make by hand. And that's providing them some economic development along with the environmental sustainability. And a highlight here is just that this is a government-sanctioned national park, but it is really mostly community-led, which is quite a bit different in the United States versus Nepal.
we also visited the Arc Bazaar. It was, the community, it was one of the social enterprises run by the INF Nepal. And in this, the community was not only supported with the funds received from the donors, but the produce of the farmers was also brought. So it was a very fresh thing to see, and it was very nice because one of the main issues of the local farmers in Nepal is that they do not get good market for their products, and that demotivates them, and foreign migration is their ultimate choice. So this initiative is very encouraging for the farmers and a good market for the local farm products. I like the principle how the ED said produce, promote, and sell. So they first of all support the farmers, and then when the farmers harvest the products, they buy it from them and then promote it and then sell. So it was a very fruitful discussion with him, though short, but we got to hear a lot from him, and it was good.
And some of the conclusions that we came to throughout this field course was that resiliency and community development will require, this word came up on the trip that we all liked, which was intersectionality, talking about multiple disciplines. And as far as seed scale terminology, that's also just very relatable to holism and interdependence. And I think for me personally, this has really helped solidify what a lot of these words truly mean, and especially in relation to each other, because being able to see it practically will put it more experiential in your face, which is really helpful. That's happened every time that I've been on a field course. So I think one huge takeaway for me is kind of just to put a little bow on what I just said. It's really helped me further understand these 5 criteria, how they actually all relate to each other practically on the ground. And this word empowerment, I've really got a new, fresh perspective on what that means, because it gets thrown around a lot in community development work. But how do you actually empower someone and change behavior, I think, is what we're all sort of trying to get to the bottom of. But throughout this field course, it's been shown to me that if you can get somebody to kind of take self-ownership of their own life and show them that it is important and they can take dignity in themselves and have an opportunity to have some self-determination, a lot of that dignity comes from income generation and being able to support yourself. To this personal journey for me, learning journey for me, it ties together with my professional learning journey, which sort of snowballs into my community journey. So it all really ties together, and it just reminded me the importance of if you can impact an individual's life, that really is kind of the basis of community development. And I'll pass it off to Sujata to finish it up if she has anything else left.
So the importance of good governance, the first 2 points are well explained by my partner. So the importance of good governance and strong partnerships, this point has been cleared out from the visit to VDRC. Casey mentioned how their 2-year leadership rotation system and inclusive working practices were key learnings for us. The visit clearly showed us, how good governance and effective leadership enables long-term organizational sustainability. So that was something to take away from this visit. Similarly, community and social connection, which is the main key takeaway for me from this visit. Building interdependence and sustainability is something that the community, for this, the community needs social connection, and forming groups and conducting meetings is not just something about linking with government. It's about linking with government and moving forward for development work, but it's also about coming up together as a community and sharing each other's joys and sorrows and clearing our hearts out. So it was one important point.
Okay, well, thank you. That was smack dab on time. Very nice. And also an excellent presentation on top of that. So like I said, we will we will continue on with the presentations with some time to time for questions at the end. So without further ado, Arju and Shivam, on to you. And thank you again, Casey and Sujata.
Okay, namaste everyone. I hope you're all doing good. So before starting my presentation, first I would like to thank Future Generation University for providing us this opportunity to learn beyond the classroom as well, and also special thanks to Nawang sir and Surendra sir for being us with in that journey. And also right now I'm missing my friends. We had a fun learning as well together. And as you can see by the title, Two Perspective, One Journey, this is the title of our presentation. So we come from very different worlds. Like I'm from Lalitpur, Nepal, focusing on social business, whereas my partner Sibam, he is from Gujarat, India. He has a background in farming and cooperative banking. So even though we observed the same places, but our lenses were different. Like I looked at the sustainability and how an organization works, how to run social business, while Sivam looked at farms and finance. So we realized that real change happens only when we connect technology with the community. So before I start my presentation, I would like to address the background as well. As you can see, a honeybee is collecting nectar from a flower, also a process called pollination that honeybee do. Our presentation today overall revolve around honeybee and what a honeybee taught us about the community, resilience, and shared work. And at the right side, we the places that we visited. It is mentioned there. Okay, so hi, my name is Arzu Bandari, and my partner.
Namaste everyone. Good morning, respected teacher and my dear friends. Okay, my name is Shivam. I come from Radu village in Gujarat, India. I do farming and I am working with the cooperative bank sector. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sibam, for that lovely introduction. So, one thing that we have learned from Nawang sir during our session about Arunachal project is that whenever we enter a community, we don't go as an experts. We go to learn with an empty notebook, an empty mind, and then we observe without judgment. So instead of looking for problems, we ask what is already working here, and how can this continue even after we leave. And so we have developed our own framework called Pauline framework, as you can see in the screen. So the Pauline framework is about growing change within the community, just like how pollen helps to flowers. Pollen helps flower grow, and it starts with people coming together, like in Dupcheshwar Nuwakot, where women formed a women action group and network with support from Share and Care Nepal, and then we focus on observing success, meaning we first look at what is already working instead of only searching for problems. We recognize local people as the real expert as well for their community, and we build on small practical wins that actually work in real life. So the framework also focuses on empowering every woman, especially those who are often unheard, and finally taking like nature as a friend. Like this earth is for everyone, not only for the human but also for all the living organisms. Moving on to the next slide. So overall, that Pauline is all about like community lead, inclusive, and also sustainable change. So here I have put the places where we visited during our field trip, and the places where I can connect myself with. So we spent some time learning from Dakaram Buddha Mukerjee, who is the executive director at the Arc Shop in Pokhara. And honestly, my biggest learning was purpose-driven entrepreneurship. Actually, the Arc Shop in Pokhara is a social business. So it is a store that sells local and community-made products. It is not just focused on profit, but supporting farmers, women groups, and local producers by giving them market for their products. So the money from the money from that business is also linked with the community development activities as well. So it helps both the economy and social change as well. So for me, it was a great example of purpose driven entrepreneurship. He also showed us that sustainability isn't just a fancy word. It actually guides every business decision. So and also it also inspired me for my brand Budget Girl, where I sell clothes for but it's not manufactured in any factory. Instead, in Budget Girl, we sell pre-loved clothes, and the clothes that factory no longer sells in the market. What we do is we contact the factory directly, and we sell those pieces in less price. So the business supports the community, as people are getting the good quality clothes in fraction of the actual price, and also it will stay eco-friendly at the same time. And moving on to the next slide, we visited ICIMOD, which is located at Godavari. And ICIMOD stands for International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. It is a regional organization that is based in Godavari, that works on mountain climate change, disasters, and sustainable development in mainly in the Himalaya region. So when we visited the ICIMOD Living Mountain Lab, we saw how science and technology can directly protect communities like mine. My community, we also reside beside Trisuli River. So one thing that really stood out for me was their flood early warning system. For communities that live near the river, floods can happen suddenly due to heavy rain, landslide, anything. So ICIMOD system, they uses sensors and river monitoring to protect floods early and send warning to the communities. This means that people can move to safe place. They can protect their livestock. They can protect they and reduce loss of their life and their property. So it will turn disaster into something that we can prepare for, like not just to react to when it will happen. So they also had renewable energy solutions, like micro hydropower, solar energy, clean cooking technologies. Um, for communities that lives near rivers, just like my micro hydro system can use the flowing water. It will generate clean electricity. Also, solar energy can help household, and like I can go to my village, and like I can coordinate with the local government for these systems for my community. So overall, ICIMODs, they showed us how science, nature, and their local knowledge can make communities safe, resilient, and sustainable. Okay, so in the next slide, we visited the mud house, Hamro Matogar. It was also in the Godavari area. So mud houses, especially the rammed earth houses, rammed earth houses are built using local available natural materials like soil, sand, gravel. And this means like they don't need expensive imported materials like cement and steel that we use to make our concrete houses. So they are quite affordable and also environmental friendly as well. So in Godavari, we learned from Basanta Shrestha. He's the owner of the house. So he has good traditional knowledge and about how to build a mud house. And these houses, they have natural climate control. Um, uh, the thick earth walls, they have something called thermal mass, which keeps the house cool during hot summers and warm during the cold winters. So people don't need fans, heaters, or AC as much. So mud houses are also a form of climate adaptation. They use because they use local materials. It will help to reduce carbon emissions, and these houses are also designed to be strong and resilient. So this was very insightful. So in the next slides, we visited one of the two women groups in Dubcheshwar, Nuwakot. One was they were already formed and they were already handed over by the Share and Care Nepal, and another one was a newly formed group. So when we talk about women empowerment, and we are not just talking about giving women jobs and trainings, we are actually talking about giving women confident voice and also decision making power. During our field visit, we saw this clearly in the women action group. These women were not waiting for instruction from the outside group, but they were organizing, they were discussing problems, they were also managing their resources, they were supporting each other. That's the empowerment. I think women where in the community where woman is leading. Sorry. So another thing that stood out to me is that when women are empowered, the project will last longer, because like they'll not think about themselves, but they will be thinking about their family, their community, their future of their children. So even after organizations hand over their responsibility like Share and Care did, women continued their work. So they think about the long term and everything. That's why women empowerment is the foundation of the community resilience. And also about the intersectionality, I think, is how multiple identities impact a woman's life. Okay, so I would like to call my friend and partner Shivam for his part.
Okay, thank you Arjuji. I'm coming. Today I'm going to speak about farming and the cooperative banking sector and how both together can build strong rural communities where farming is not just an occupation but way of life. Through my learning journey, I understood that farming alone is not enough. Farmers also need financial support, market access and community cooperation. This is where cooperative banking becomes very important. First, let me talk about farming. When I visited Himgiri Eco Farm, I learned about organic and sustainable agriculture. The farm follows natural practices like zero wasting farming and using egg cell fertilizer instead of chemical fertilizer. The founder taught us the farming should respect nature. The idea was simple. Farming is not only business, it is ecology. One powerful lesson I learned was share 15% with nature. That means we should not try to control everything. Instead, soil, water and farmers are all connected. If we protect nature, nature will protect us. But farming has challenges. Many farmers face problems like lack of proper market access, dependence on middle-aged men, high interest rate loan, climate change, rising input cost. To the next. This is where cooperative banking plays a very important role. Cooperative banks are different from private banks. They are owned by members, especially farmers and local people. The main goal is non-profit but community development. For example, I studied the cooperative banking and Kisan Mart model at VDRC. I saw how cooperative banks provide. First, low interest farmer loan. Second, market linkages, digital banking service, ATM access in rural areas. This system helps farmers become financial independence instead of going money lending, who charge high interest. Farmers can take loans from cooperative banks with trust and transparency. Also, cooperative banks support farmers market, which helps farmers sell directly to customers. This increase profit and reduce misuse. I strongly believe that farming and cooperative banking must work together. Farming products, food, cooperative banking provide financial strength. When both are connected, rural development become possible. In my own village in Gujarat, I went apply to this learning. First, starting a weekly farmers market where local farmers can sell directly. Second, promoting organic farming method like natural fertilizer. Third, introducing digital cooperative banking and ATM facilities. Last, encouraging farmers to become member of a cooperative system. Arjuji, next. Okay, last. In conclusion, farming is the backbone of our country, and cooperative banking is the support system that will become the backbone. Together, they create community resilience, just like honeybee built hive throughout collective efforts. Farmers and cooperative banks must work together to build a strong and self-reliant rural economy. Thank you so much. Arjuti.
Okay, thank you, Shivam, for the presentation. So here you can see like this is our commitment that we will be doing in the timeline of 5 to 6 months. So my commitment is clear in the screen, right? So I will be starting Eco Club to teach kids about the climate adaptation, where I will be doing this project and doing simple things like cleanups, composting, and tree planting, teaching kids how to adapt climate. So, and also like I will also promote women empowerment, like providing jobs to their women in the future, and I will surely expand my online business. And this is Shivam's commitment that he will do. So at last, after taking all this knowledge from our field trip, we will return to our hive, like just like a bee, and we will be like build a collective resilience in our community. So thank you so much for
Thank you so
being
much,
here.
all of you.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you, Arju and Shivam, and thank you, Mastur, Akash, Casey, and Sujata, for everyone for your presentations. We have some time left over for questions. If anyone has any questions, yeah, go ahead and raise your hand or type them into the chat. I see Chris has right away raised her hand, so please go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. I actually wrote down two different questions. I know in this last presentation, Arzu and Shivam, you mentioned in your commitment, but I would like to ask this to all of the presenters today. Is there a particular aspect of the field-based course that you observed and plan to integrate or apply in your own community work in the future?
As I talked, how I appreciated and liked the most that the groups in Nuwakot were so closely linked with the local government and they were working in close coordination with them. So seeing that, I have planned an orientation meeting with the local governments of the area where I'm working as an initiation to strengthen our project and for increasing accountability and sustainability. We implement projects in some selected areas and just inform the local government like we're doing this and this. We only meet the we only meet the municipal chairperson and the ward chairperson, but we only meet other staffs only when needed. So this time I'm planning that I'll along with my team hold a orientation meeting where all the government municipal staffs will be present and municipal chairman will be present and ward chairmen will be present and also the staffs in our field office will be present and I'll be there myself and we all will orient them about our project, its objectives, principles, and how we work, what we do, and to increase the accountability and sustainability. So I have designed this in community lab in details, and I'm planning to implement this in April. While between this time, I will plan what to do and how to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Akash, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, for me, in case of implications, as I am working with the agroecology project, I have planned and also prepared the community lab to link the community with the agroecology, particularly with the agroforestry system in which the community leads themselves and go for the utilization of the resources. And in Nepal, particularly in rural region, one of the major resource is the forest resource. So I'm planning to implicate those practices with the forest and community as a whole. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to answer that question.
Sure.
So one thing that I forgot to mention in my presentation, that one commitment I have already started is Nepal Next Thinker. So basically it's a youth-driven community platform in the social media. So it is dedicated to environmental conservation, climate change, climate resilience, and also social innovation as well. So unlike traditional development models, we are like bridging the gap between digital influence and grassroots actions. Like we operate as a digital first community. We will be using we will be telling we will be using storytelling and social media to reach millions of young Nepalis, and building a foundation of trust and massive awareness, of course, before transitioning into physical infrastructure and policy projects. So later on, we will be moving to another projects where we will be entering the community and doing the one of the project that I have mentioned in my presentation, Eco Club project. So first, we will be in the social media phase, and then after that we will be transitioning to an organization. And right now we are in the phase of registration of our NGO. So like this.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Mastura, I see your hand is up.
Thank you so much for the questions. Actually, it was very nice question. So, the community I'm working, actually, I had experience of establishing online education for Afghan girls, and we couldn't like maintain the sustainability with that community. And right now, I'm working to another communities to establish the same topics, online education for Afghan girls. So the things who I learned from this course, especially about applying the city skill in my community, who consider the independency and also the sustainability for long term. So in our application of city skill, we mentioned, like for me, 5 things was very important. And I learned these things from the presentations who people gave us in Nepal, from the community who they already did very good job. So I learned, if I consider the inclusivity, the sustainability, especially about community continue with outside helps, and considering the holism to support the students with different topics, with different areas, and they will help my community to be independent in the future. And like definitely it will be a very good community in the future. So these 3 things, I think 3 4 5 things, it's very important for me, and I learned these things to apply to my community, and they will help me or lead me to have a sustainable community in the future.
Thank you very much, all future generation family attending this presentation. And I would say congratulations all my students. They are wonderful learnings. Actually, you have learned more than I expected. So there are more things to continue, and I got most of your community lab plan, which is related to the Chris question. All the students have the 3 key, underlying learnings. What you learn, how you learn, and what you apply in back home. So that is the basis on that presentation and their community lab. So they're a wonderful community lab. I received most of them, and I will get them all. And finally, I will summarize, report all your learnings and the community lab process, all this. Thank you very much all. That is a great, wonderful time.
Yes, thank you again. Thank you to all the presenters. And it sounds like you had a great time in Nepal. And for those of you who are sitting on this call and thinking, "Wow, that field course just sounds amazing," it was. And there is another one coming up this summer to Uganda. And we will have more information on that. There, it is on the website currently. We will be having more details forthcoming. But for those of you who missed Nepal, there is Uganda on the horizon. Thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and have a wonderful day and rest of the week.
Thank you, Chris, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.